Many years ago, I came across a few lines in a book that I connected with. They were, "It's easy to judge, but you never know another person's heart, what gives them strength and what breaks them down." I have learned to listen more and speak less. The result has been eye-opening conversations and inspirational moments that I have shared with you right here. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Another conversation coming your way on Crystal One-on-One, and we are at the Kampala Sheraton Hotel, as you can see. And this show is brought to you by Rope Telcom. With me today, I have Aine Derrick, who happens to be a scriptwriter, producer, and a face you know well on TV. Welcome to the show, Derrick.
Thank you very much, Crystal, for having me. How are you?
It's a pleasure. I'm good. How are you?
I'm very fantastic.
We've been like back and forth already. You've missed out on something. I was asking you how 2020 has been for you.
2020 has been amazingly weird.
Weird?
Yeah, amazingly weird. Like,
those two words don't like go together
for
necessarily.
me, it's the first time they have made sense in one statement. Because, I mean, literally when 2020 started, we had our plans. We had usually everything laid out, and we knew, you know, March will be doing this, April will be doing this, Easter holidays, we want to do this, but yo, when it came,
you just mentioned Easter. Yeah, Easter was dead.
It was dead. We're just literally in our homes. That's when we had lockdown, and everyone was like, okay, so where am I going to have Good Friday from? Is it the kitchen? And then the Saturday bit in the living room, and then Easter Sunday in the bedroom. So it was crazy.
Yes. So as someone who works on TV, you've had to actually be very conscious about how your content can translate to online. So
Yeah,
what
exactly.
steps have you taken in like the last couple of months that you can really like point out?
One is basically boosting the social media itself, because, you know, earlier on we used to have most of the work done, you know, manually, like I said, but now you had to find extra ways. If you're to use social media, how do you get appealing to, you know, people? Because most of the people were actually home, and the only source of entertainment they had was their phone, their, you know, tablets, their computers. So you needed to package your things
And get to people there.
Exactly. And with about a space of 3-4 months, people were tired of COVID, you know. Guys were like, now we're tired. Literally numbers were growing in the country, even outside the country. So you had to look for an extra way. If you're to give them COVID related information, could you make it more entertaining? Can you make it more satirical at the end of the day? And if you're out of, you know, talking about COVID, what other things are happening out there, you know, that are relatable to COVID? You know, I'm going to give you a scenario. One of the videos that went viral, it was, you know, I don't know if this is a PG rated show, but I'm just going to keep it as simple as it is. So there was a time, you know, people were all, you know, complaining about the fact that they couldn't move from one place to another, you know, the side chicks, you know, guys were at home, and, you know, they couldn't leave. The only people that were seeing are, you know, their main wives, their main dishes, and, you know, the kids.
Phones were on like airplane mode all the time.
Exactly, you get. So there's this video that went viral, you know, the ladies in Katanga, and, you know, they were complaining about how, you know, their, you know, private parts are demanding for a couple of things, and I was like, yo. So this is what COVID has brought us to, and it made me realize that, you know, however much we take things for granted, you know, there's always a reason as to why the body is made the way it's made. You know, there's a reason why God said Adam is lonely, let me create Eve. You know, it wasn't just because of, you know, to keep them company, but also procreation purposes, and also a couple of, you know, other pleasure purposes. So I realized that there was a lot of information out there, and I remember I went out there to Katanga, and personally I found out that the ratio of single women to, you know, to men who are actually married is high. Like literally most single ladies, or people who would like to call them side chicks, were like a ratio of 4-to-1. Like,
no,
it is what I found out. I'm telling you.
I reject this information.
No. I did this personally, and I found out. And I could also tell from, you know, the people you hang around. And, you know, someone just tells you, I've not seen, you know, so-and-so for about 2 weeks, and it's crazy, you know? And for some reason, money was like, it wasn't, I don't want to use the word scarce. It was there, but, you know, but this time around, it was budgeted.
People didn't know. People kind of didn't know what was coming up. So people are really, you know, were holding on to their purses.
They tried to until it was too much for them. That's when they exploded. You know, it's just like a volcanic mountain. You know, if it's been a dormant one, and the moment it explodes, the lava is just going to, you know, burn out everything. So it made me realize that actually the ratio of women to men in the country is very high. for a minute,
I don't
wanted,
know about
for a minute,
this.
I wanted to side with polygamy, but because of, you know, my family background and, you know, what I've learned, I'm not a polygamous person and I don't believe in polygamy, you know, so people don't judge me, please, but that's what I think, and I have a couple of reasons why. But I felt like, you know, man.
Why don't you believe in polygamy? You have to add on. You said you have a few reasons
Why don't I believe in polygamy? I believe in the biblical teachings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm someone who, when you look at me from the outside, you don't believe that I could pray. I'm a biblical person. I go to church. I get that a lot. But I believe in one man for one woman, you know?
Mm-hmm.
If there was supposed to be polygamy, forget the stories of Solomon, of, you know, those guys in the Bible who had literally 1,000 wives. But I'm talking about literally the New Testament when Jesus came and everything literally changed. So biblically, I believe in one woman, one man. So, but right now, science, population, technology, it's
you
changing
know what? I
everything.
need some real stats to back that up because
You should.
I have a feeling that's convenient information.
You should look it
I
up.
have been in debates before when guys are like, yeah, there are too many women. What
They
are we
are.
supposed to do?
They are. Like, let me tell you
I'm
one
like,
thing.
no, that's not true. The last stats I remember reading about our population, we are almost neck and neck, men and women.
No, we're not. Just take an example of any hangout place, any entertainment place, any place you could go to chill. Literally, when you do like a pickup count, there are always more women than the men.
Well, you might be right about that.
And for some reason, the crazy things that happen with the men, like whenever you're calling a fellow guy out to come and hang and everything, they're going to ask you one question: are there women? You know, are there ladies? Are there people we can chill with? Because that is what society has made them believe, you know? And it's the fact. So the women are more than the men. And it's funny how our mothers keep giving birth to more women, to more ladies. And you know, I don't know what's going to happen in the next 5-10 years.
Again, we need to go and actually check real
Do your
stats.
stats. Do your stats.
I'm not comfortable with this information. Not
Do
at
your
all.
stats. Do your stats, and you will definitely find out I'm being truthful.
Now, Derrick, are you
Yes.
Ugandan?
Yes, I am Ugandan.
Okay. Is
Yeah.
it true you were scouted? Someone spotted a handsome young man and said, "Oh, I think you can be on TV."
No, really.
I saw that somewhere.
No. I've always wanted to be on TV for as long as I remember.
Okay.
You know, I was inspired by my sister, Dora. She's called Dora.
Okay.
And right now she works at NBS. And I used to like how she used to do her thing. She just started working on radio. I was way back, and I was a kid, and I used to look at her and the way she was so motivated, so inspired. She used to do a late night show, like a late night show. And my dad never liked the whole idea of her doing a late night show and, you know, her coming back home late. But at the end of the day, she did it and it was
she was
perfect.
working.
Yes, she was. But my dad is, that's a whole different
Is
story.
he conservative? Like,
Not really conservative, but he has his own ideologies that he believes in, and you don't want to go by, you know, off his ideologies. Anyway, so yeah, so Dora inspired me, and she kept on doing her thing, radio, then she did print, then she did TV, and I was like, yo, I need to be like her. So I asked her what course did she do, and she had done mass communication at UCU. So in my HSC,
okay.
like back then, that's when we used to use the 4-choir, the 2-choir. I don't know what these kids use now. But back then, that's what we used to use. So I did Heg Art.
Yes.
History, economics, geography, art. So I used to write
I
Heg
did Hague
Art.
literature.
You did Heg literature. Interesting. So I used to write Heg Art for mass communication at UCU.
Okay.
So literally what I wanted to do was what she had done, because that's how much it inspired me to do what I do now. So good enough, I had applied to Makerere University and UCU. So Makerere University gave me computer science, and I said, to hell with that. So I went straight to, UCU. I did my mass communication and journalism, and I came and did internship at Urban TV.
So you knew what you wanted.
I knew what I wanted because I had the right inspiration. At the end of the day, you need to find out who's going to inspire you and what it's going to inspire, and what is it going to take for you to do what you want to do.
So where did that story come from that you were scouted on campus at UCU?
I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but I think I'm good at what I do. And when you're good at what you do, there's always going to be a story. It's either going to be negative or positive at the end of the day. So I think it came out. And when I did my internship, when I was finishing intern, my supervisor back then was starting up a new show. It's called Let's Cook. It's combining tourism and food. Tourism and food, that's me. Like travel anytime. You just wake up, you're like, Derrick, we go. I'm like,
that's
where?
a perfect combination
Exactly.
right there.
I like my food. So when I was winding up with the internship, they said, you know what, we want to retain you, but how we're going to do it is that you take a couple of weeks off, when you come, we move around the country, do about shows for 3 months, and you know, you go concentrate on your books as we concentrate on editing and everything. I said, that's cool. I was paid. I was working on TV, so like my dream was coming closer to me. Yeah, I was traveling. So I did it, and after the 3 months, I remember I finished my education, and then I hollered at Bush. That is Michael Worry, who was the station manager back then. I'm like, yo, I need to come back. I need to come back and work. So Bush is like, no, take it easy. You've just finished education, you've graduated, take a month off, relax, chill. You'll come and do
Enjoy
this.
it before the madness.
Yeah. So I'm like, say no more. So I jump on my wagon, I do what I had to do, you know, hang around, chill, travel, enjoy the food. And then I came back and started working in September. That was 2016. Yeah, that's when I joined officially.
Okay.
Yeah. So I
So
started
everything
working.
that you were doing was leading to that.
Yeah.
Really.
So I started working. When I reached there, I said, you know what? My supervisor back then was still there, and you know, he advised me, you need to first, you know, get to the basics. What are the basics? Camera work, know how to operate a camera. At least have the basics of, you know, white balancing, sound, and everything. So I started from production. I remember the first shows I worked on was Kizzy and Urban Today as an assistant producer. So I did all that, got to learn a few things here and there. Worked with a couple of, you know, huge names. I worked with Gaetano, Malaika, I worked with Timothy Cord. I like very many people, and I would like to appreciate them on, you know, whatever effort they had for me. So 2017, I left the country, I went to China, did a short course for TV production and editing, then came back, and then was the time when Mackenzie was leaving the show, Urban Today. So when he was leaving, my boss then, I use the word boss a lot because my boss is my boss. So my boss then was called Susan. So Susan says, you know what, Derrick, you've been working on this show as an assistant producer. You have presented before. I need you to do the morning show. I'm like, yo. An assistant producer, you have presented before. I need you to do the morning show. I'm like, yo, I'm literally like new in this field. I can't handle a morning show. That's like too way serious for me. They're like, no,
just a morning show is a strong show.
Waking up at 4, you probably have had one of those long nights, you know.
So that was your concern. Now we get to it.
It wasn't my concern, but it was something I couldn't undermine, you know. At the end of the day, I had to make sure that I come through, and you know, this was my big dream. So I'm like, oh, cool. So the first person I actually told the news was my sister, Dora, who was still with New Vision back then. And I didn't have a car then, so I used to stress. I'm like, yo, because she's like an alibad. Like, if you talk about alibads, yo, that chick comes like #1. If it's 4, it's 4. She'll be there. So I used to tell her, man, you know, you have to pick me up from home and, you know, take me to office, and then pick me from office, take me home. So we were so close that, you know, this was no problem to her. So, you know, she'd pick me from my home, take me to office, and I started doing the show. And it was amazing. From 2017, when Mackenzie left, I started co-hosting it with Didan for about a year. And then Didan also left me, and then I stayed doing it alone. Then a couple of other people came through. So it has been literally an uprise curve for me. That's all I could say, and I thank God for it.
Okay, I want to go back to your school. Where did you go to school?
Do you want us to begin from primary?
Yeah, why not? We want all your OBs to be like, hey, we know that guy.
Okay. Yeah, they stress me a lot. They call me a celeb. I'm like, really? No, you guys, I'm just like you. Anyway, so primary, I went to a school called Mbara Preparatory School.
Okay.
It was located on Kakova Road in Mbara. Those of you who know that place. Then O-level, that's ordinary level, I went to Mbara High School.
Okay.
Where I had a couple of, too many scenarios going on. I was stubborn. I was big-headed. Like,
oh no, you were that child.
Yeah, I was that child. And you're my dad.
So when you say you were big-headed, like what? You were escaping from school? Or you...
I did everything you can think about a big-headed student can do. I escaped
from school. Please don't tell me you started a riot. Please don't tell me that.
Now I can say this because my dad got nothing on me now. Back then, if he had me say this, he would wallop me like a problem. I think I was the most hit child at home, together with my sister Dora. I think that's why me and her are so close. Because we literally had like the same childhood, you know. They would beat me.
You were always getting in trouble.
In trouble, like we're just literally the trouble causes of home. But it's an amazing how you know far we've come from, me and her. But so from there, Barra High School was just crazy. You know, that was the day when we had the soccer galas. I don't know if you heard about them. And we used to have a rival school in Tare, and you know the STEM Tare. You know, we had stupid beefs going on. The Mary Hill girls are ours. No, they are yours. So when it was soccer time, like you would go all rowdy. I was literally in Form 1. I was as small as I think a toothpick is even tall enough. I was small, I was tiny, but I had, you know, these huge cousins in Form 4, and you know, when I started showing up the way I was, because as a free chap, I would talk to the ladies, I was vibing, I was cool. So Form 6 guys were like, that's our guy. So they literally protected me. So I was never bullied, I was never teased. I was getting, you know, things Form 1s were not getting at that time. So yeah, so I went through it, I did a couple of hiccups here and there. I got suspended at some point, and my dad was like, "Ooh." And for some reason, everyone at school knew my dad. Like, the teacher would just spot you from the compound, is like, the son of so and so, you're just there. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Do you look like him?
Yeah, I do. I look like him. So there was a lot that really happened when I was in Barra High School. Just to cut the long story short, I got suspended, came back from school, from home, did my, you know,
Your finals?
my finals, yes, finished them, and then I left. I joined St. Lawrence, London College. That was HSC, Form 5, Form 6. Still the same culprit, my big sister. I told her, man, yeah, you have to take me to school. Me, I don't want to go with Mzee to school. Drove me
So
to
you
school.
still weren't on good terms at that point?
I felt like,
Do you feel like he was done? He was like, this child?
oh, yo. Now, this was like in Form 6, because Form 6 still, like I told you, I used to be very big-headed. Form 6, I got suspended again. And my dad was like, you know what? I'm done with you. So the only person I would go to was my mom. I'm like, now it's me and you against this whole world. So what are we going to do? And then my mom is like, now you see, I don't know, but now your father is so mad at you. What are you going to do? I'm like, dang. It's crazy up in here. So
like, let me just keep busy and stay out of his line of sight.
So I kept busy, and I think that was the time when I phoned God. I phoned Jesus. There's a time when it's very mysterious, but there was a time when, you know, we had prayers at home, and you know, after we had prayed, I was still on suspension. Meanwhile, this was an indefinite suspension in Form 6. I didn't even know whether I was going to sit for my exams. So, you know, we're praying, and for some reason, I don't know what happened. I think the Holy Spirit just came into me, and I just found myself talking to my dad. I'm like, yo, man, I'm sorry. I've messed up big time, you know, but just give me another chance. Just take me back to school, you know. Treat me as your son again. I'm not going to let you down again. So I think also the Holy Spirit had gotten into him for some reason. He's like, okay. So it's like, okay, we'll see after. So, you know, the pastor left, you know, I had a conversation, but then he told me, I'm not going to take you to school. Your mom is going to take you back to school.
Oh, my.
Yeah, so me, I'm cool, but you need to prove to me that you're cool as well. So you go in there, do what you gotta do, excel, and that's when we'll have a conversation. I'm like, okay. So my mom takes me back to school. I report, you know. So I come back to school, and you know, I do my HSC, I do my finals, and finish them. And after that, I went to UCU, main campus. I was in Mukono. I did my 3 years bachelor's degree in mass communication and journalism. And that's when I think me and my dad became best of pals, and you know.
But now I'm beginning to understand why you say your dad was just like, he went through a lot with you.
Yo, I was very big-headed, I must tell you.
Are you a big family? Because you mentioned Dora.
Yeah, we're a big family. We're a family of 8 kids.
Okay, and you are?
I am the 4th.
You're the 4th, okay, all right.
So it was amazing growing up and, you know, looking
Were you like active in I don't know, stage, activities at school?
Oh, yeah. When I was still in Barra
You
High
were just
School,
a bad boy, yeah?
I never used to pay for those, you know, trips to Bueranyanji, to Masharuka, to Mary Hill. No. I was like the Enrique Ignatius of back in the day. You feel me?
No, you did not
On the
say
real
that.
though, I'm telling you the truth. Because I used to be the guy that used to do those, you know, love songs. You know, I'm singing Hero.
Oh, God,
and,
so you were doing all the miming.
Yo, I was like, I wasn't into dancing. I didn't want to flex a lot. So just let guys, you go do your thing. And then I would come like at the end, you know. I don't know. Did you attend any single school at some point?
No, no.
But you had friends who did.
Yes.
So if they tell you there was always that last time when they'll be like, okay, so we're about to close it. But before we close it, we have one special performance. This is Enrique Ignatius. And then I would get on stage and, you know, get down on my knees. And I'm like,
my God.
and I pick the girls. It was amazing. I feel like I
These are good memories, clearly.
Oh, yo, I can't forget them. I remember there's a girl I picked who had wear a nyanji. Very nice, humble girl. So I was miming here, and then I looked at her. I gave her a flower. I picked her, put her on stage with me, and everyone went, whoa!